Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Creature Corner, sponsored by Lenovo. Welcome back. It's been a whole week, and I'm in a totally different space now. Please welcome back my guest co-host, perma co-host, Matt Millard.
Hey, man.
Perma-guest co-host.
Perma-guest co-host.
Perma-ghost.
Perma-ghost. I like that.
I like
Because
that.
am I really alive?
Are
We
any of
don't
us?
know.
We're all just ghosts driving meat skeletons anyway.
Meat bags.
Meat bags. So let's get down to the Jambos, man. What you
We're
got
doing
going on?
Jambos. Dude, I have this, where's he at? I have this kind of Dark Souls guy
Oh,
that I'm working on.
yeah.
And I want to make a big something to have them face off. And right now, I think I'm going kind of like
Double.
conjoined kind of giant, right? Skeletal giant. The Forsaken giant is what the Z tool is named currently. But ultimately, probably one head is smaller, an arm is smaller, and he's like kind of lobbing around some huge like club or a
got a
hammer
big
or
weapon.
something like that. Yeah,
Got a large.
something massive, and he's all hunched over, and he's like,
Oh, that's cool.
half of him is sad, the other half is angry.
Right.
Yeah,
And you can't have any more than that.
can't
No.
be done.
Just the two heads.
Yeah,
That's
he's
rad.
got, he's missing a jaw on one. It'll be like more malformed, but I'm keeping it a little symmetrical on the legs and arms before I really kind of mess around with the proportions.
You gotta keep it as symmetrical as possible.
Yeah, you gotta slam it in.
You gotta slam it in. Slam it in. Oh, that's awesome, man. It's looking good. Good start. And then your Dark Souls guy, you got techies on him, right? You were doing
Well, no, it's just a Keyshot scene, really.
Oh, I thought you had taken him into the whole thing.
No, just I don't have the Keyshot file pulled up, but I'll pull it up later. But just the materials, man. The materials, they do all the work.
Yeah. I don't do enough like evil suits of armor, and I should probably do an evil suit of armor at some point.
Yeah, I was just I've been falling in love with those games, and I was like, man, I don't know if I.
Well, I mean, they're great.
Dude, they're
so good.
Very scary and cool.
They're just on another level of gaming, and I think that's why they're so popular right now.
Yeah, where are you at with your guy?
Well, I haven't touched it since last week, so every week is just a continuance.
Oh man, yeah, he's looking good, dude.
Yeah,
so good.
Well, we're in a good place, so I figure we're gonna start poly painting.
Oh, cool, man.
Getting like some more skin details on top of it. I want to build a meniscus, like a film around the eye.
Yeah.
And then start doing some eye texturing as well. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
Then I was, tooling around with him in the Keyshot.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Subsurface on the wings looks great.
Very, and right now it's just the preview. So it's not even like, we don't even have real thickness in there. It's just so this will come in handy later when we want to like spread the wings and put them into a pose or something like that. It's nice as that if you can keep it low res like this, it's still like clothable. It makes it nice and easy to move around.
And that's the word of the day. I remember was
clothable.
Yeah,
clothable.
Yeah,
clothable. That's right. That went out in our morning email.
Sure it did.
Oh shoot, man! I didn't show you this.
What are we doing?
We're gonna make large the look.
Oh,
I'm back, like in a space again.
So
now it's painted.
Dude, nice.
So like before it was like a black hole. Like it literally felt like a black cloud above me. And so now I have like actual like light in space.
Yes, like having that having all that bounce light in there probably makes it a little more pleasant.
It does. It you'd be surprised at like how dark it felt all the time. And now, like the minute I walked in, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So much better. So never underestimate like the power of your environment to like how you feel and start producing work.
And you said the power of urine?
And the power of the pee. Yeah. So what's going on in the world, man? What you watching?
What am I watching?
I watch time.
Yeah, I actually just found out that they were nominating the Oscars like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I never follow when like that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. What did I do? I've been watching Tales from the Crypt. I'm on season 3 now.
Okay. You bought the whole set.
I bought the whole
the whole thing.
I did, man. And I don't know what the whole kazoo means, but I did. And man, a couple of them have really stood out. You know, it's actually really it's really funny, dude. It's so 80s, man. Like
I definitely dated, right?
Yeah, there some of the stuff just really not working anymore as far as subject matter and story. But a couple of them have been like, dude, this is awesome and super campy. You know what I mean? Like it's funny. Like that's what.
It's definitely funny.
Yeah, the Crypt Keeper's he's a funny guy. He's cracking jokes, but some of them have been pretty sweet. There was this one called The Ventriloquist's Dummy.
Yes,
and it was about a ventriloquist, and the ventriloquist was I can't remember the dude's name, but he goes like back in the 80s was the bad guy. In Police Academy. He was a stand-up comic, I think. And this guy is like an unbelievable ventriloquist, but it turns out, spoilers, 35 years later, it turns out the ventriloquist has like a twin, like a twin on his arm. So the hand is actually a little Apex twin. It is awesome. Like full blown prosthetic.
I got a photo.
Yeah, there he is.
There it is. Hang on. There you go.
There you go, dude. That. Yes.
Look at that. That's gnarly.
And then there was another really cool one called Corman's Calamity. And it was a meta, it was actually interesting seeing this happen in like 89. It was like a meta episode about an illustrator that worked at Tales from the Crypt. Okay. And he was drawing all of the comics, and all of his monsters start to come to life, dude. As he draws them, like, and the opening scene is not the opening scene, but the opening monster is this girl is at a laundromat, and this giant frogman comes out and rips this dude's head off that was like a serial rapist, and it was awesome.
The only they can get away with that campiness and the silliness, but also the meta-ness. But horror's always had like a meta arm to it. There's always been always been very self-referential.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you establish, because, horror is like one of those things that everybody's exploring, like, because what scares one person doesn't scare another. And then whenever you see the success of, Halloween, every horror film in the 80s was about some maniac slasher,
Just a weird guy in in some mask. It was like the easiest thing you could do. Put a guy in a mask. All right. So I'm going to do an AO pass first. Flood it with color. Do an AO pass. Break up it like photo textures.
Oh, that new Keyshot thing that was just posted. Man, that's
they're
crazy.
adding physics simulations in there too, which
That's
like
cool.
that's I feel like this is probably more for commercial, like actual like product designers, because that's
man, the entire thing is commercial. Yeah, like
that's more their jam.
That's their bread and butter, dude.
Yeah, is like product people. And actually my brother-in-law does that and they all use Keyshot for it.
Oh yeah.
So they have they use everything via cloud and render that way. So it's just kind of funny to see the overlap of like where their real focus is and then like what we're doing.
Yeah. It's just polar opposite, dude.
It's just very like everything has to be very clean and
It's like, here you can see, we're at the conference and they're like, here you can see this Coke bottle and we can add some water droplets, and we're in the seats like, yeah, we could probably just make some blood dripping out of some dude's face.
Exactly.
That's a good
exactly. There's like, I'm like, how can I make this more terrifying?
Yeah.
You're like, let's make it more beautiful.
I want to make it gross.
But like there's overlap is like, lighting is lighting. Like what you model, I guess, doesn't really, doesn't matter if you're lighting it. All you need to do. Music on. Hey everybody, welcome. Saw some membrane on my creature. The process of creating it. Yeah. So far it's, if you scroll back a few episodes, all of this membrane, it's just a piece of flat geometry. So there's no thickness on it, except I'm using dynamic thickness here. So that's all I'm using for that. Everything else, it can be done using the cloth pole. So grab cloth pole brush, grab that guy, and then you can just pull this around as you like. And what's really nice, and then if you store a morph target before you do that, so I've actually got everything in thing just kind of barfed out onto my interface here. Let's pull this up. There you go. So everything on my interface is just kind of pulled up like this. So I've got morph target right here, store morph target. So if you store a morph target, that just tells ZBrush like, hey, hold on to the shape that you're making. So it just makes the pull less wild, I guess. But you can go like crazy with it. But just like little slight modifications just to add a little bit of turbulence in the wing. Any settings that you want to deal with, like in how firm it is, just dial that up here in dynamics. And then it's the wrinkles are going to be a lot thicker. If you want really thin wrinkles, then turn that firmness all the way down and you get really, really tight. Like creature wrinkles. Really fun little brainy wrinkles.
Brainy.
That's brainy. I don't know. So that's it.
I like it.
I like it. But ever since ZBrush added cloth, man, that was just
dude. Yeah, game changer. And this the sculptress is really cool too. I'm doing this. I found this really cool technique that I use a lot in my creatures. Is like, if I want these little like these folds or these skin kind of segments like drooping down and connecting, especially if you're in Dynamesh, you just kind of like mask off an area, and then you can just kind of pull some flesh into the other area.
Yes, yeah.
And add that
like,
topology.
For like really close up, or like on the skin wrinkles. Yeah, you can do it on this mesh, or even just like grab a part of it. And as long as you store that morph target, I'm not going to do it here, but as long as you store that morph target, you're good. Then you can go back if you need to.
Yeah, I do morph targets and layers. On everything. Especially in production.
It's like it's a must.
Always have to be doing that.
There we go. It's creepy music. Listen to that guy enough. There we go. Yeah, I'm working on it.
What are you working on?
Oh, there's spammers in the
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Spam things. I don't know.
Look, what do we got? Oh, dude, online strips. That's
Online
great.
strips. No,
We
thank
love
you.
We love it.
We love it. That's the cool part of the internet, right?
I mean, some would argue it's the best part.
The best part of the internet. All right. So I got to start getting color on this. And I'm just going to break it down very simply, just two-tone for right now. Like these, I don't know, fleshy lesions or whatever they are. They're going to be like darker. So everything kind of above them is darker. And then all this stuff. Yeah. So big news, I guess, is that Godzilla vs. Kong did not get an Oscar nom. For
Really?
VFX. Yeah.
That's weird.
They've always been so supportive of kaiju movies.
It's so crazy, man.
It's bonkers. So the VFX, let me pull that up real quick. Live action short. Yeah, visual effects was Dune, which was, obvious. Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man. Okay. That was the list.
Well, there you have it, folks. So I see, because I thought that Nozuki was in running for best supporting actor. No, that's crazy, dude. I mean, wow.
We should have our own little kaiju Oscars.
Yeah, we really should.
Right? We can make that happen.
I'm pretty sure that we all know that the smog monster would win.
Hedorah would definitely win. Because we live in a giant smog monster.
Yeah, I'm having to dial in my patience just because it's still pretty cold here at night.
Oh, really?
So as far as printing goes, it's like, well, so
it's too cold to print. What is your printer in the garage?
Yeah.
So it's too cold. Oh, because it would freeze the resin.
Well, it doesn't freeze the resin, but there's optimal. It doesn't freeze the resin, but at a certain temperature, it won't stick.
Oh, that's not fair. You just got it. You're like,
it's really not.
Can't use it.
Still printing.
Well, you know what?
Still just going for it to see, because something. And well, plus, I need to take all the time to get my exposures right and dial in, make sure the bed's level, and learn.
Because what I've noticed is like prints live or die by like how you engineer it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Makes all the difference. But it's brand new, and it's like you got to update the firmware, and you got to do this, and you got to get the software, and
I get that bed leveled.
Yeah, and you got to do that a couple of times.
You got to do that a couple of times because the first few times they don't work, even though they tell you they work.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. So you got to fail a few times at that too, or scratch the FEP. Then it's all over.
I just can't wait to be printing out big, tasty things.
I keep telling myself like I'm gonna clean up my machines now. I still have to clean up my my office because there's like a fine layer of paint dust over everything. So I have to
I'm sure it was.
It's gonna take like a week, which is cool, knowing that I'm breathing that in all the time.
Yeah, dude, that was another thing that I forgot. Like I was out there and I was like, wow, I need a mask, dude. It is. Yeah. That stuff gets in your eyes, gets in every part of your body.
Get good gloves. Get the black gloves. You know, you feel like Dexter every time you put them on.
Mm-hmm. You feel like Dexter every time you go to the garage.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, but you used to.
I used to.
And that's what's important.
And that's what matters. So, all right. Just starting with like basic tones, all these little bumpies. These all get some paint. And I'm not worried about like perfection. It's just getting some tones in there.
Yo, what's up, Bobby? How you doing, man?
Let's see. Oh, Abby, what's up, man? Yeah, hey, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, dude, thanks for chilling.
You know what it's like working with me and Matt.
You really do. Yeah.
The absolute garbage.
Julie.
Oh, man. Have you watched any of Detroiters yet?
Dude, I don't have.
Olsen like binged it.
I know. I don't have whatever it's called. What's it on? Paramount?
Hulu? It's on the Hulu.
Dude. He told me it was on like Peacock TV or something.
You have the Hulu. At least the first season's on Hulu.
Well, I've got Hulu.
Oh, then you got to do that.
Well, I mean, now that I know that it's on Hulu,
now that you know that it's on Hulu,
definitely going to be checking that out.
Because it's on Hulu. And it's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous and exactly what you want it to be.
So I mean, it's Tim Robinson goodness.
It's Tim Robinson, dude, all the way, and it's and Sam Richardson, and it is spectacular.
Incredible.
Fully recommend. So now I'm just taking a spray brush and I'm going to. John Mahoney's here. What's up, John? So I'm just taking a spray brush and I'm gonna. So all I've got is a paint. My spray type is set to spray, and then I have a little alpha set onto it. So what that does is that makes a little spray, little mottling spray. Mottling.
Do you remember whenever I learned that word?
We're like modeling.
We were working on The Mist, the TV show.
Yes.
And we got some notes on the some of the.
It was the baby.
No, it was the writers. It was the, what are they called? The Four Horsemen. It was the Four Horsemen.
Oh yeah.
They came by and they're like, yeah, I just think there's too much modeling, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I just looked at the concept team and I was like, well, it's been modeled too much. And you were like, no, dude, mottling.
Mottling.
As in the texture is too busy.
Mottling. Okay. Dark sockets around the eyes here. And then what? We go a little raw around the jaw. Like maybe
yeah, for sure.
Reddish.
Yeah, you need some pinks in there and some
little reddish pink in there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like mandrels with like really red.
Oh yeah, dude.
Those
things are awesome.
Now they, if these guys are subterranean, right? They live under the ground. Color wouldn't probably matter to them.
Correct.
But
yeah.
Some animals have are affected under UV light. Like a platypus is reactive to UV light.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that weird?
That is wild.
So maybe that's what this represents. It's like they can sense UV light, maybe. And no matter what, it has to follow the cardinal rule of does it look cool?
If it looks cool, it is cool. That's the rule.
If it looks cool, like if it looks like it could shred your face off, you're doing pretty good. And then we'll just go a little lighter pink the closer we get to the gums. So it just really looks exposed. This creature, not a good kisser.
Doesn't get a lot of lip service.
Doesn't not good for kissing.
Cake, don't mind if I do.
Don't mind. But
I think I'm going to go ahead and just like put a loincloth or something on this guy right quick. Start exploring some clothing options here.
Needs,
I'm going to give him armor, but I haven't sketched it out yet. You know,
you're just gonna leave him free like that?
Well, I'm gonna do all the anatomy first, but I'm thinking like minimal cloth, maybe like some giant loincloth. So let's just do something like that.
You ever just like grab a snapshot and just blob paint?
Oh yeah, that's
Uber stuff over it. Yeah,
I have that over. I have that on my other screen. Just literal garbage. So I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Really?
But you know what? That's what's so crazy about it is that it works like that. You can just throw a blob on it and you're like, oh, I get it now.
Hey, buddy. My dog really needs attention right now. Hey, big boy.
It's like, Dad, what are you doing?
What's going on? Why aren't you paying attention to me?
Why? It's blending in all this stuff. Nasty. You watch any creature movies? What are you watching?
Creature movies.
I feel like there's not much.
Trying to think. I mean, I have. Well, I mean, you know, there's like I was saying, and I've been trying to like just run through Tales from the Crypt because there's some of those episodes are just.
Oh, that's right. You're going through all of that right now. So you got things to do. I don't know. I'm trying to stick to something right now. I'm doing a lot of learning. I'm back in my like I need to learn things phase. So I'm trying to teach myself marmoset.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Just for fun.
Yeah, man.
Just for fun.
It's the way forward.
And then not that I think it's going to be useful in my pipeline. You know, the stuff that the Keyshot is already showing is probably going to be more useful.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not texturing and texture painting all of those models and exporting roughness maps and stuff like maps,
that, you know, and generally I try to avoid them with a passion.
Yeah,
as much as I can.
See, I can't wait. Like, I can't wait to get to the maps. But
that's where the joy is.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not where my joy is, but whenever I'm like in that perfect spot, I'm like, dude, I want to make this. The one that's I'm a victim of that. I'm like, okay, my design is done, but I could spend a couple of weeks just making it look sick, right? You know, but now like I've got it to where I've got so many, like that zombie I was doing for the Resident Evil thing. I just brought it into Substance and dropped on a couple of custom materials, and I was done. I was like, all right, whatever.
It's beautiful though. Like I try to get there. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna spend some time and bake all this stuff out, and then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just immediate, and I know, that's too many years of doing concept art. And
yeah, I mean, concept is like just infinitely different.
It's so different, and it's good to know everything about doing things the right way, because then I know I'm not going to do that. There we go. Maybe his I was going to do the standard like brown pink, fingers that kind of gradiate into brown as I get down here. Now I think I'm going to go pink.
Sometimes
the fingers get pinker. And I got the scratch.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Makes sense.
I like it.
I like it. I did really good. I started watching Murderville.
What is Murderville?
It's on Netflix. What's his name? Fred Armisen? No, not Fred Armisen.
Oh, I was like, what?
No. Will Arnett. I don't know why I got Fred Armisen.
Okay, well, I love Will Arnett.
Makes sense, right? If you think about it.
Yeah, they're the same person.
They're the same person. They're doing so they have to solve a mystery, and they bring in like a guest celebrity,
mm-hmm.
and then they just kind of act around it. So that's kind of fun. That's it.
Oh wait, what's it called?
It's called Murderville.
Murderville. What was the one with Martin Short and?
That was A Murder in the Building.
Yeah. I watched most of that just out of pure nostalgia. I was like, I gotta see like how they're doing things these days.
And what did you think? You didn't hang in there.
I don't remember.
It didn't stick with me either.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you like the last Peacemaker episode?
I love every episode of Peacemaker.
It's all very good. It's all very, very good,
dude. Yeah, I mean, I really I'm honestly constantly surprised by that show. It's how good.
The fact that he just keeps doing that to you over and over again it's surprising.
It just
you're like, oh,
he just delivers.
He just always has like tricks up his sleeve. You just feel like every twist and turn is going to be different, and it's successful.
Delivers. I love it.
I love those twists, man. You gotta, in television especially, just to keep you hooked.
Have to have it.
Gotta, then you become the twist. You know what I started watching is Servant on Apple.
See, I don't have Apple TV.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Apple TV.
I only have it because the wife is an Apple Mac person.
Got it, Apple Mac.
And she's an Apple Mac, and she really likes the Apple Macs.
Apple Macs are good for some people.
Some people love Apple Macs, and I get it.
People really like Apple Macs.
Apple Macs.
It sounds like a breakfast cereal. It does. Get your start of the day with a fresh bowl of Apple Macs.
Eat my Apple Macs.
Only 358 grams of sugar.
It's pure corn syrup.
Yeah, it's
just frozen pieces. It's just frozen chunks of corn syrup. Apple Macs. Your family's gonna love it.
Your family's gonna
not responsible for cancer.
You know what I've been I started looking up recently was I've been thinking about Masters of Horror. Do you remember that TV show?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to get that collection because I do remember. I mean, I remember some of it being pretty hit or miss, but there were a couple that have stuck with me to this day. Like, and I was watching it whenever it was coming out on HBO.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm curious about it. You know, I haven't seen the show in a very long time, but I was like looking into like, oh, I want to buy a complete, you know, I think it only ran for 2 seasons, but you know, they're almost full-length films. But yeah, I think you can actually watch them for free on Amazon.
I think they're
yeah.
They're, and if you haven't yet, you should listen to Mick Garris's podcast, because he like has amazing guests.
See, I'm not a big podcast guy, man.
I am not either, and his is really good. So because podcasts bother me anyway.
I just don't like to listen to people's opinions and talking.
I don't either. I don't enjoy it. as we talk about our own opinions,
as we share our own opinions.
I hate hearing other opinions.
I don't know how you guys.
But it's true. Like I don't listen to a lot of podcasts unless it's like really informative.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, if it's informative about a horror entertainment, then you know I might be interested.
I suggest checking it out. Mick Garris's is really good, and then also the King Cast, which they just talk about Stephen King books the whole time.
Okay, I heard that.
That's how I learned about Revival.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's all I'm looking for. You know, it's like recommend me cool things to watch and listen to.
Joe Byron. What do we got? We got a serious question.
No, it's a good question.
That's my buddy Peter right there giving that Joe Byron reference. What's up, Pete? Love you, dude. Yeah, what is he?
The question was, did we shuffle through design routes before realizing we wanted to specialize in creatures, or did you know from the beginning? I knew right away, like creatures.
From the very beginning.
Yeah, it was very, very early on. And I tell the story all the time, but I was in Jared's class, Jared Morant's, and he showed his work, and I was like, "Woo! This is it."
Yeah.
I didn't, like kind of like what you said. You had a similar epiphany.
Oh, in your class, I had no. Yeah. It like never hit me that people could do it for a living.
Yeah.
And watching you, even the class, like creature sculpting, I'm like, okay, you just learn how to, do some cool stuff. And then you're like, yeah, so here's my portfolio and I'm working on this and doing that. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is an actual thing.
This is a human person. And that's what blew me away. What Jared was doing. And it's just like, I had no idea this existed until like someone showed me the way.
Yeah. And it's, like I'm growing up, like watching the movies, we're looking at the art books or and Fangoria and all that stuff. And it never just occurred to me because I think it was just so
the term monster kid.
Yeah.
And that term, I read that term in a Bloody Disgusting article. They talked about like the 80s, 90s monster kids, which were, they watched all the horror movies, all the monster movies that they weren't supposed to watch. They knew all the Freddys and the Jasons and the, all those things that, that was us. And
100%.
I just remember so much of my childhood just being, surrounded by monster films. And so, monster films and video games and, everything else, that kind of golden era where, and there was a lot of new wild stuff just coming out all the time. Now film feels like it's rehashing a lot of those old things because, it's profitable and they want to introduce it all to a new generation.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things to where everything was so new that they could take risks because that's all you could do.
That's all you could do. It was very, very shoot by the hip, man. A lot of these, every movie, that they talk about making now, it's like, well, we didn't know what we were doing, and we had no shot of making this, and now it's such a, the industry is like, boom. It's much harder.
The industry's
in
like
some ways.
boom.
It's like boom.
Boom.
Just go boom.
Boom.
No, if you want to make a movie now, just the costs of it are so crazy. And back then you had to know how to run a camera and edit actual film, like cutting VCR tapes together with glue and
that's why we
sauce.
like in hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like in the 80s we had a boost of crap, dude. Like everybody was making movies, like Full Moon and all those guys. And they inspired, like they started releasing films like just with those over the shoulder things you could get at Sears, like the VCR cameras. Like you might have had one like growing up. Like I had one, I did stop motion camera work with it, as a kid with little claymation.
Yeah.
But like that's how we got movies like Video Violence and like Tourist Trap. And these movies are insane, and they are like they probably cost
Tourist Trap was fun.
Like $1,000 or something. Like they're like, let's get some of our friends and make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Just crazy. And so now, and the irony is now you have all this stuff available in your phone. Your phone can shoot great video.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to know how to edit, and you got to know how to do a million other things, and you got to have time to do those. Like anybody could go make a movie now if they want. People make stuff on their phones through TikTok, really cool videos. It's crazy.
I just don't want to be that guy saying TikToks are really cool, Jared.
Well, look.
But listen.
Let me put it to you this way. I could not stay on there. So when the shanty thing hit, I was like, oh, cool. I love shanties. Mm-hmm. And then I got on TikTok. I'm like, oh, this place is terrible.
Yeah, it is a bad place. It is a very bad place to be around.
Question, any quick reference or tips you want to share on skin wrinkles and pores? Oh, man.
There are a million.
You are luck, man.
You can do, guys.
So much.
Guys.
Well, let me hide the color real quick. And we'll just show you. But because I haven't done any wrinkling on this guy, we'll just go ahead and start. But I'm going to use just a regular standard brush for this. And I'm switching back into basic material just so I can read the forms, read what's going on. Normally when I texture, I go ahead and start using skin shader. But in this, now I'm just going to use basic standard brush. And what you want to think about is the thinner the material, the thinner the wrinkle, right? Like think about your t-shirt. Your t-shirt has a really thin wrinkle if you bunch it up versus like your hoodie, or your sweater. Those wrinkles are much thicker. It's a thicker material.
Right.
So when sculpting, I like to use just a basic standard brush. And it doesn't matter that I've put like a cellular pattern down already. In fact, it's a good thing because you kind of build up layers. But see how I just kind of like build up, forms this way. I'm not trying to, I'm very sketchy and loose with it. One is because I don't like to make perfect strokes each time. I want things to feel organic. So in fact, the looser I sculpt, the better it is. And so I'm just looking at light and shadow. So if I place a bump here, I'm kind of carving underneath it as well. So build out and then right next to it, kind of dig in a little underneath. But you want them to like kind of, you want to have a few where they like bunch up real close and a few that are big. You want like, talk about big, medium, and small shapes, right?
Yeah.
That's going to make it more appealing.
Yeah, primary, secondary, tertiary.
Yep. Big, medium, small, or 1s, 2s, 3s?
Shady on Fire, we're streaming for another hour and a half, I believe.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah. Do you use a drawing pad or a mouse?
Gotta use a pen. It's the only way.
I find myself between both.
You straddle both worlds.
I do. I will. There's even like if I'm gonna do like blocking in like some cloth and stuff, like what I just did, I'll just switch over to the mouse and just kind of whip around, move some stuff around, and for some reason it just kind of feels native to me. Well, even sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'll just push some points around in broad
I've done
strokes,
that too.
And I'll be like, it's time to draw now.
How many times do you end up with like your hand? You got the pen and mouse together.
Yeah,
you're doing that. Doing the double, and you're like, I'm very dexterous.
I am a dexterous man.
I am very dexterous. So now as I get like closer, as I get like kind of closer in the body this way, and as I get closer, symmetrically, then I can break that symmetry. I already have, it's already been zebra meshed and projected. And so now I'm just, messing it up a little bit, playing with that symmetry. So it's really fun. Pores, I'm, get a good brush, get a good like pore brush. Now you can hand sculpt pores.
Yeah, I mean, there's, in production we have to do a lot of stuff like that, because
you're doing like in the maps,
Yeah, it has to be in the model. And then you do like the micro detail in the
yeah, exactly.
In the
that's
map,
like
right.
That's like 4th level quaternary.
Right, and people love that. They love
that's
that thing.
That's the stuff that like everybody oozing out.
And one thing that is really cool is there's this software called Wrap 3D.
Yeah,
and there's a a workflow to transfer the texture XYZ maps onto your model and get all that displacement information. And now there's even a plugin in ZBrush. You have to buy it, but it is literally Wrap 3D.
Wait, there's a Wrap 3D in. Wait, there's a Wrap 3D in ZBrush?
Yeah, I have it.
No way.
Yeah, and that's how you transfer over all of that that detail. Awesome. Oh, well, this is 2022, so I don't have it loaded on 2022. But it's literally a port from RDS3 Wrap to ZBrush, and it's in ZBrush.
And it's in ZBrush. Ah.
It's in the Z. But yeah, I use that all of the time.
See, and I'm just pulling reference from the stuff that I was pulling up prior when I was talking about when I was first developing this guy. So using like this kind of wrinkling. Now the problem I had with this is it's too even, right? This is like almost beautiful.
Yeah, it's just not creature enough.
It's just not. It's not gross. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't match the level of creature nastiness down there. Like this guy's always popular because there's just a lot of
Oh yeah, the hairless bear.
Hairless bear, my boy, hairless bear.
The bearless hair.
Well, his hair. Let's see. Bats and other things. I thought I had some naked mole rats in here. I always put like a naked mole rat. Oh, see? There you go. That's like the nasty goodness.
Yeah, that's that goodness.
That's that goodness.
That's that goodness. I like me a good salamander.
Like, if you like learning about like weird facts about animals, you're gonna love being a creature designer.
Yeah, that's one of the, even, I run into that every day, being like, a look dev guy and a creature guy. It's like you're just fascinated by everything. You're like,
Yeah.
wow, look at how that
Like this
look at how the reflection rolls off of this material, and you just like think about it. You're like,
you just think about, yeah, you're like, wow,
you just kind of sit in its glory. You're like,
it's
that's
a
pretty
silly,
tight.
it's a silly job where you're like, how.
It's also cool because you get to learn how everything works. So
That's
you become
true.
a little bit of a scientist, a little bit of a biologist, a little bit of,
When you're
a little bit of an engineer. It's wild.
when you're sculpting teeth, I'm like, oh, I'm a dentist now.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but it's the fun part. Like, ooh, look what I learned now. And then you just store these facts away for later, and they just show up again. Every so often, you pull out like an idea, and you're like, oh, well, I can't use that for now, but I can save it for later. And you get lucky, and you store like a base of knowledge.
All your base of knowledge.
All your base of knowledge
belong to us.
They belong to me.
Yeah. What I think the number one thing that Miguel Ortega really crammed this in my brain is, as far as skin folds and stuff, is just the connective tissue between muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody always wants to do like just kind of an accroché version of stuff. Like they want to have every muscle and every bone poking.
Yeah.
But what makes it believable is that collective, or the connective tissue. You know what I mean?
That's myofascial tissue.
Oh,
there's subcutaneous fat, and then there's myofascial tissue, and they'll actually do like a fascial tissue pass. In
dynamics
too.
Oh yeah.
And
like
fascial tissue is we know it well because it's like the worst substance for an artist.
Yeah, it basically like makes you question whether or not you'll be able to ever do this job again.
Exactly. Like you hit a point where your arms are just flooded and swollen, and you're like, And it turns out it's fascial tissue.
Yeah, I injured my arm a while back, and unrelated, but you have to baby that shit, man.
Oh my God.
It's like if I'm about to sit down and do some work, I gotta like stretch for like 30 minutes and do exercises just to, and then hit it with the Theragun and make sure that
roll. You gotta foam roll it.
Oh yeah.
You have to you and I, we both have Theraguns.
Mm-hmm.
I love my Theragun.
Theragun is
saved my life.
Dude, the Theragun is like a Jesus. It's like Jesus operated with batteries, man. The thing is insane.
It just works, and but you have to like. What sucks is you also have to monitor you have to monitor how your body feels all the time.
And like if you're hurting and if you're uncomfortable, take a break, dude. You
got
to take care of yourself, because
if you're.
I started this in my 20s and I'm in my 30s now, and I'm like, okay.
It's better as you get older.
I've been sitting down for a while and everything kind of hurts now.
Like, you know what? And you have a day where like maybe you sit a little different, and then you all of a sudden just feel that the whole next day. Like I cross my legs, so if I'm resting my leg on my knee, and then like I sit there like that for hours, and I forget that I've been holding my knee at the same place.
Yeah, and then you can't move it, and then you're like, I guess this is what death is.
This is horrible.
This is literally dying right now.
I mean, I burned my arms out really bad.
I remember that.
That was
took a couple of weeks off of work and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And you do not want to do that. You do. And I did it by like overdoing it, just taking on too much.
Yeah, man. I mean, you were a madman.
Madman.
For
Not
sure.
healthy. Not healthy though. You know?
Yeah,
My arms got so inflamed I was plunging them into ice buckets.
I remember you're like, yeah, dude, we have to just plunge them into ice buckets and do all this other shit. And I was like, Jesus, I mean, that sounds terrible. And now I think about you every day. I think about that story every day because I'm like, man, I might be getting there.
That experience taught me. But you know what I learned is that it is manageable. You can live and do this, but you just have to baby it all the time.
I'm having this issue where I feel like right here on your hand, like this part, it's starting to it gets like numb and.
Well, let me ask you, what are you doing?
Literally,
what are you doing all the time?
Like literally holding the pen.
But are you like wedging it in there? Are you gripping it?
Really not, dude. I'm like it sits there. And then whenever I notice, I'm like, okay. And then you know what it probably is? I up the intensity on my brushes. I'll even change it to different fingers.
Well, here's what I've learned, and this is just from working with my personal trainer, who helped rehabilitate me. His name is Michael Galvez, amazing guy. He rehabilitated my arms basically from the hellscape that they were. But what I've learned is that problems usually occur up the chain.
Yeah, and I think it's related
to
shoulder.
Take your Theragun, Gambo that guy in your serratus muscle. Because a lot of stuff will start with the serratus. And so work this area up here. Get your back here underneath the deltoid, like your tricep area. Corobrachialis. Get that guy.
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna do that tonight.
Get that corobrachialis in there too, because what I've noticed is it starts up the chain, and you got to hit it.
I mean,
got to hit it high up because everything's traveling down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes all the way down.
And then also, this is just a good tip for anybody, is that like your arms should not feel like tight or bundled like cords. They should feel, your arms should feel soft and flabby, like fleshy, not your muscles shouldn't be tight. So if you're doing this for long periods of time, like you're making micro movements with your arms.
That's what kills you.
It's little twitch. It's like little twitch sensations that, because we're just doing micro stuff. I have my hand on a keyboard and a pen, for God's sakes. Like that shouldn't build up as much like myofascial tissue as it does, but it does, and that's just what it is. Like you have to baby it.
Jared Medina, I take a break every hour and a half, but that means like a 2-minute, 5-minute break. I get up, I walk around, I go outside, I get fresh eyes, I come back, and then I work. Because I learned that from writing music. You get obsessed on one part, and you get locked into one part, and then you can't play it as well after about an hour. And then the second you take, I love that you got a little butthole in there in your model. I love like whenever you take that little whenever you take that little 5-minute break, you get.
Took me a minute. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, you get fresh ears, and in our case, it's fresh eyes. But also, it breaks you out of it unless you're in the zone. I mean, if you're in the zone, you're in the zone. You're in the zone. But like. I make it a point to at least every hour and a half, every 2 hours max, I'm moving around. I'm doing something else. That's not what everyone does, but I mean, even if it's like a 2-minute walk around the studio, walk around your house, get up, let your dog out, that kind of shit. It's really important.
I've actually been taking slightly longer breaks. I'll take like a good 15. And there's about 2 points in the day where I notice that I take them. One is around like 10:30 is I'll go just take 15 minutes to do whatever it is I need to do. Sometimes it's just cleaning a little bit or whatever. But I find just stepping away for a period of time, and then like Matt said, coming back, it just helps. It just helps. You're come back fresh.
It's necessary, man.
You know, like literally just go drink a cup of coffee, you know, or go sit with a cup of tea and, you know, look at your phone. Like that break is so important, to like, it's like a restart on the machine, because then you sit back down, you look at what you were doing, and you're like, oh, I see something I didn't see before. And you're not going to get that by just like nonstop, you know, staring at your piece,
because you naturally just hyperfixate on things
exactly.
as an artist, because everybody wants to get into details. Also, CGM Studios, is that Connor? I think that's Connor. Man, no, we are not at Aaron Sims anymore.
No, I'm freelancing and currently working with Legacy Effects.
I am also freelancing and currently not working with Legacy Effects.
Yeah, I've been freelancing now for 4 years.
I mean, I'm on my second year.
I want to say 4. I'm going on maybe 5.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's always scary because you're like, oh man, I am on my own, and sometimes you wonder where the next job is going to come through, and
I never have that.
It shows up, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just kidding, man.
You just have to be open to opportunities.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you got to do stuff. You got to meet people. Really.
You got to meet people.
You got to meet people. That's the big deal.
You got to meet people. You got to tell them, hey, I'm a person.
I'm a human being.
Hey, Shade. Good night.
A chupacabra
probably like late
and a two-headed abomination. Love it. Good night, man.
Good night. Good night. Yeah. Yeah. No. Freelance.
Paint's looking great. It's got a nice, like, kind of that Predator vibe. That lovely, like that.
Oh yeah. I'm
that flesh tone and that dark skin.
I was thinking it's a little too Gremlins, but you know, just because of the striping. But
man, I love.
It seems like the natural kind of way to go with this guy.
I love the striping. I think it looks great.
I haven't looked at him in
check it out
in Keyshot yet, but I should probably. Let's do. There we go. Fill object. Everything gets the skin shader. That's just my rule. Object. I'm gonna get some hair on this guy, and then I said I was gonna do like an eye and a meniscus, so I gotta make sure I do that.
That is correct. You have to make sure that you do that.
I have to make sure.
It's one of those things that's entirely necessary.
There we go. Okay, cool. Gotta look at that meniscus. Such a fun word. Let's see.
Yep, the meniscus.
Meniscus.
I will tell you that is the one thing that comes up in production the most.
The meniscus?
The eyeballs, the meniscus. I mean, just you name it, man. The eyeballs. You know, that's where the soul is. Everybody is like.
Everybody knows where the soul is.
Everybody, it's like, hey, man, this doesn't look like an eyeball.
Hey, why does he not have a soul? Where's his soul?
No, where is
that's such a big part? It's such a big part of the of character,
especially if
it's like one of the first things I tell students too. Yeah. I'm like,
your
guys,
character is emoting, like it has to have perfect eyes,
like really expressive.
Yeah, and you want to see that highlight. You want to see every part.
Yeah, that's fun.
Do you have a? Is it just an area light right now?
I have what do I got? I got 2 spotlights in there.
2 spotlights. No HDR though.
No, you know what? I guess what I uploaded today?
What did you upload today?
I uploaded my good friend David Olson's favorite environment.
Oh my God! Is it Barcelona rooftops?
I got it.
Oh, yeah,
I did it. We did it. Oh yeah, here it is. Man, I'm so excited.
We love Barcelona.
It's a shame
rooftops.
that he never watches the show.
He's gonna watch this and be like, "Aw."
Look at that. It's such a great HDRI.
Yeah, man, it's perfect. You know.
Lovely. There we go. See? You can see this guy like out there, flying on rooftops.
Flying on the rooftop, shouting out.
Killing the people. Shout it out.
Shout it out. They got to get murdered.
They got to get murdered.
Mm-hmm. What type of music were you composing? I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to hear.
You're the one that plays the music.
Yeah, but I don't think I've mentioned that I write for a death metal band, and that I'm in a death metal band.
You are in a death metal band.
I am in a death metal band. I love me some metal. It's like the music counterpart of horror films. You know what I mean? It's like, you've got movies, and then you've got horror movies, and you've got music, and then you've got death metal.
You have to have a part in every like creature flick where they're like, and the creature's coming to ripping them up. Hey, what you guys mentioned earlier? Theragun.
Oh, the Theragun.
Theragun. Yeah.
It is a massage gun. And it literally will change your life.
So this is what I use.
I do not have that.
You have a different one, but this is the one that I bought.
I have a Theragun.
You have a Theragun. I have a flyby.
And that's okay. Maybe mine works a little bit better than yours. I don't know.
Mine might be just a little bit bigger. You never know.
It
just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it works. This is one I use, and they have different attachments. But like they get in between the muscles when you're working on it. So you're breaking up myofascial tissue. So myofascial tissue, that is the stuff. This is pretty fun. Myofascial. So myofascial tissue, that's this stuff. That is it's this webby glue. It is. It's webby and it's gluey.
It is.
And it runs in between your skin and muscles and fat, and it weaves in and out and through your muscles and body. And this stuff builds up over time. Doesn't matter what you're doing, it just builds up. And it makes your life hell.
It's bad.
Here's the thing, is like if you're an athlete, athletes have trained their myofascial tissue to wrap around their muscles in a really efficient way. That's why, like really highly trained athletes, they get massages and they get, they have great physical therapists that work with them, that work with athletes.
Dollars.
And it costs a lot of money. But that's what they're doing, is they're getting myofascial breakup, which makes your muscles more efficient. So that, unfortunately, for CG artists who sit all day, it does not make our lives more efficient. It makes our lives worse, because what's happening is your body's getting locked into position. So when you stand up and you stretch, right, you're breaking up myofascial tissue all the time. So it is good when used, to a benefit. If you're an athlete, you're going to train your myofascial tissue. But if you're sitting for long periods of time, this is why breaking is really important. That's why you got to go stand up and move around. Do the doorway stretch, which is like you pull your arm to the side and just stretch in the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
So good for you.
I do that 100 times a day.
Oh, my God. Because sitting is dumb for long periods. And
sitting is very bad.
Sitting is really bad just for long periods.
Just in general. It's just bad. What is happening?
What is happening? Sitting for long periods of time.
Cool.
Okay. So I think I'm ready for meniscus time.
Dope.
I've got some color in there, like a good start. So I think it's
man, it looks great, dude.
Yeah,
I love it. It's a solid color profile.
It's a start. It's a start. It's a good start. And then we'll keep pushing it.
I like it. Do
So
you ever use those vein alphas that they have like built into here whenever you paint? I use that every time I paint. They have like some really nice.
I love that one.
Yeah, they have some really nice vein alphas.
That's
it's like texturing 101, like texture painting 101 is
22. Yeah, it just does like so much for you. If I lower my RGB. I don't know why I keep hitting the crotch with it.
It's you go to the areas that you love most.
It's the most fun to paint.
It's true.
We've got a little pink in the chest. There we go. Just like little color hints, areas that kind of connect to each other. Let's see. All right, let's make a meniscus. So what I like to do with this is I'll take all my geometry. So I've got clear my mask there. I've got my dude. I've got my eyes. I'm going to subdivide these a few times. And I've got if I turn this off, my eyes are underneath, right? My weirdo, like crazy gibbon eyes. So I've got everything visible. All I do is go to merge visible, merge that all together. And then I'm just going to start slicing it. So now it's all one object. Just highlight the part you need and get rid of it. So I have delete hidden set to a hotkey.
Oh, dude, nice.
So I've got this, right? And this is pretty cool. So just take this and I'm going to fill it all to one color. Fill object. There we go. Okay, so it's all one color, one object. And here you can go ahead and I'm going to Dynamesh it. So like 480. I could probably go even lower. Okay, so now it's all one object, right? Easy peasy. Cut that boy in half, which I've set to a hotkey, delete by symmetry. Now I'm going to take this and basically lasso it out. So you can use slice. You can use slicing is good because it kind of creases the edge as you go around. But I could also just like grab a lasso and do this. Doesn't matter. We're only using like a piece of this geometry anyway. So I'm going to try slice circle because his eye is nice and circular. So grab this. So the meniscus is basically this like film of, it's just this clear film over our eyes. And we know about like the outer eye and the inner eye, but the meniscus is also traveling between our eyelids, right? So this picks up extra highlights that if you just have the eye geometry by itself, it doesn't create it. So you need the meniscus to pick up extra highlights in there. So I'm just going to slice it. Boom. Okay, check. See, I'm going to turn on double-sided just to check. See, there's another side there. So I'm going to delete that, like this guy, invert, delete. So now I've got my geometry. And I've got a nice edge there. You can see if there's like little, pieces, little goobers that are hanging around. You can delete that, or you don't have to do anything because we're just going to remesh the hell out of it. I'm going to group loop it. So group looping also works because that takes away that little goober edge. Let me show you. Okay, so this is before group loop, right? And you just group loop it. Boom, covers up that edge.
Nice.
So now we have the whole geometry, and we know this is going to fit perfectly over the eye that we've sculpted. Now, if I were going to move the eyes around, then I would have to probably build these around, build these over again. But now I'm just going to zero mesh it. I'm going to turn on half. Boop. So, because I don't need all that geometry. I'm just going to smooth it like this anyway. And that's our meniscus. That's it. So you just merge everything together, dynamesh it, cut a little shape out of it, zero mesh it, get a nice little meniscus going.
Well, there you go.
Get that person you love a meniscus.
Yeah, Valentine's Day is coming up,
Valentine's Day is coming up.
You want to get that perfect meniscus for the one that you love.
See, and now that I look at it, it's sitting on the face too perfectly. And then also there's probably, that's actually pretty good. Like I could probably cut this guy in half again, like cut it down a little bit. Like this is good. And if you slice it, it doesn't matter because, you can see there's little goobers left over. So just do the same thing. Group loop it. Remesh it. And then there we go. Now, if it's sitting on the surface, I have inflate. So I'm going to inflate it like 0.1. Okay, let's try 0.5. And we'll just do that until it looks fine.
And are you going to do like a tier line?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's our tier line.
Yeah, because you're doing one it looks like it's kind of like it's covering the entire eye, right?
Yeah, not just lining the eye, but the entire eye.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's acting kind of as like the glass of the eye.
Exactly.
Right? And then in production, we always do that little.
You do that line. Yeah, you do the line over but because he's a creature, right? He doesn't have those eyelids.
Yeah, well, is there still not water building up at the end of your eyeball? Or you're saying he doesn't have eyelids?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should I put in eyelids?
It looks like he could at least squint. It looks like he could at least squint.
His I bet try it. Like could these wrap over and he's like Rrr. I like the wild, like weird.
Oh yeah.
Overexposed eye. Maybe he doesn't blink.
Maybe he doesn't blink.
Or
maybe there's like a
nictating membrane.
I was just about to say maybe there's a nictitating membrane.
Man, talking about nictating membranes. See, we know each other too well.
It's just it's just how it works.
It's how we do. Okay, so meniscus is in there, and then I need to paint the eyes. Let's check in on your boy. How's your guy going?
Man, it's going pretty well. I'm kind of like fusing the face together. I'm actually thinking maybe he's like this abomination with two emotions pouring out of one giant, and he has been cursed to do that. And
He's like essentially like two giants fused together.
He's one giant with two emotions kind of embodying themselves. He's angry, and he's, what is he? Angry and sad, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe he's pensive.
But he's got this.
He's nervous.
You see this a lot in the kind of Dark Souls stuff, man. Anything kind of goes, right? But the story behind the monsters they're always like highly emotional. You know, it's like he was a great giant, but he was obsessed with war or greed, and he was cursed to be embodied by both, and so now he's splitting, and he's mad, and he wants to kill you.
His inner desire.
Yeah, it's like some Hellraiser stuff. Yeah, and so
yeah, for like a deeply personal, emotional thing has turned them into a monster.
And I put just like some basic cloth on them to kind of. I mean, I haven't blocked anything else, and I've just been doing some fleshy in betweens here, still way in Dynamesh, but just some cool suggestive, like that really old school kind of just connective tissue between the.
Oh, I like it.
The rib cage and stuff like that. Now I've got some negative space in there, and the whole. Like this stuff that would that stuff is always cool. Just the
hollows. No. I'm a sucker for that every time.
Right, it's like, what's the explanation? It's like it's his emotions are growing out of him, his desire is growing out of him, or he's being forced to separate. And maybe in the final form, he's two half guys, and you got to fight both of them. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they split apart, and then you fight.
Maybe both they do.
Maybe they do. Like, yeah, but they each have one arm. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
it's not like a split, and then there's two guys. It's like you're fighting like an arm and a leg and an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite arm and the opposite leg.
Yeah, well, because ultimately, I feel like, I mean, how I was initially, but again, it's all blue sky at this moment. But it'd be kind of like you make a small arm. You make a small arm, and then you have like a really strong leg or something.
It's just,
and he's just kind of, he's kind of hunched over. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's got some sort of giant club. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm pissed.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm thinking.
All monsters are pissed off. All the
time. They're not having a good time.
They're not having fun.
Either that or they're having a great time.
I think it would be, I don't know, if you were a monster, wouldn't that be kind of freeing? You're just angry and pissed, and then you get to go smash.
Mm-hmm.
You
get to smash, baby.
You get to smash.
But yeah, I'm digging it. I think that he's huge. He'll have some armor, a big weapon, probably some spattered hair. He's all hunched over, and then I'll have
maybe some chains wrapped around him.
Oh yeah. He's gonna be broken.
Gotta have chains. What else? Like what other props could because they also have like a lot of, I want to say, props on them.
No, they do. But my initial thing was like the Forsaken Giant, right? So this dude is an abomination, and he's been locked away, and he breaks free, and he wants to kill you. So he's just got like raggedy stuff, big shackles, chains are all around him, and he's got just some very primitive weapon that he is trying to murder you with.
Could be what? Like a blunt object.
Yeah, he's big. He's not I wouldn't say he's really big. I'd probably say, 9 to 10 feet. He's not like a 20-foot monster. So maybe he's got some sort of piece of a tree.
Throw a little. Snapped off. You throw like a get like the Jack model or something, and then just throw a little dude in there, and then you can play with scale that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes sometimes it helps just to see how big he would actually be. Get him a little buddy.
He's got to have a friend.
He needs a friend.
He's just so upset, Jared.
Can you blame him?
He needs a friend. No, I can't.
Could you blame him?
I can relate.
Poor dude. Like you always pity him, and that's the monster.
Yeah.
Pity the monster.
There's always those. Yeah, there's always those scenes where the monster's terrible, and then the second they're dying, they kind of have that last little cry for help. Like, and there's a little bit of humanity in there, a little bit
of breaking. Yeah, like the most sympathetic monster is probably Frankenstein, right? Like you just wake up and then you find out you're made of other dudes.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Did you watch? This brings me to a completely different vibe. Did you watch Penny Dreadful?
I did. I watched all of that.
Yeah,
I loved Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, I really, really liked Penny Dreadful, man, but it was definitely like
I'll say
it's just one of those things you have to
just go with. You have to go with it.
Yeah, you just gotta you gotta be like, well, okay.
You just kind of have to be. Yeah, you have to be like, all right.
Especially in the later seasons, like I mean, the first season was incredible.
The first season is really great. Even
loved it.
They take some liberties with like Frankenstein, like him being
like a Shakespearean.
Yeah, he's like he's a poet, and you're like
he's an intellect, and you're like
he's an intellectual, and it's really weird because he doesn't look like he's a bunch of dudes chopped up and put together.
Yeah,
he's like just a dude with long hair, and he's like got a sensitive soul, and so I'm like, okay, whatever. But then they show some stuff, and you're like, all right, I see.
Yeah.
They do some great stuff with some great characters, and you could tell midway through the third season that they got the like, oh, sorry guys, we're canceled.
Yeah,
you can feel it. Like they're like, oh, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, well, the whole Dorian Gray arc kind of took away from the story for me. Like,
I know what you mean.
It wasn't for any sort of whatever. I don't know how to phrase that. It wasn't for any sort of strange reason other than I was like, we could, in this 60 minutes, we could be like focusing on some like kick-ass stuff instead of
I know what you mean. I know.
Yeah.
I know. And you're like, guys, come on.
Like this is how we spend our time. This is, like, okay, well. But I mean, the Penny Dreadfuls, like, we owe everything to.
No, right? and we owe our existence to the Penny Dreadful. But it feels like there's a lot of potential that just didn't get explored, and
Josh Hartnett, though, man, dude. Who else is in there is Timothy Dalton.
Yes, Timothy Dalton,
the best James Bond of all time.
I love it.
Fight me.
I love it when Timothy Dalton shows up. He showed because Doom Patrol.
He's great in Doom Patrol. Yeah,
and I just love that he takes roles like that.
I love.
Makes me so happy.
Dalton.
He's so handsome. He could be doing anything, and he's doing.
I mean, dude, even at this age, I'm like, I mean, if you want to marry me, you can. It's okay.
I'm sure Timothy would be very flattered to.
Oh, dude, have you seen
the two creature designers?
Yeah,
really enjoy his stuff.
Love Timothy Dalton. I once saw him make a sniper rifle out of a cello in a James Bond film.
Cello.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a cello.
It might have been a cello. It might have been. Nah, I'm pretty sure it was a cello. I could be remembering
Cello.
it wrong. But he's my
He's your hall
favorite Bond.
pass.
Yeah, love me some Timothy Dalton.
All right. Well, who's someone you would cast as James Bond that would not be like a typical cast?
Who is someone I would cast as
Who is
James
someone you would
Bond?
cast?
Well, I mean,
is there someone you would cast that would be like a?
No, I mean, if James Bond for me has to have that kind of non-American element, right? Like he's got to have that suave and debonair. He's got to have that awesome accent, right? What if we had like an Australian James Bond?
All right, here. Hey, Lord, hi.
All right. That would be awesome, dude.
That'd be rad. I was thinking Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy as James Bond? No
as
way.
a James Bond. What do you think?
I don't like it.
You like it?
As a villain.
As
a James Bond movie.
No, as James Bond. I think he could do it.
Oh, dude, I'm sure he could, but off the bat, I'm not in love with it.
I know, and that's why it's a good choice.
Okay, so my opinion
people
doesn't mean
booed
anything.
Robert Pattinson as Batman, and he's gonna crush it.
Okay, well, you're talking about Batman.
I'm talking about Batman.
You're talking about Batman.
That's not James Bond.
That's not fair because every Batman cast gets booed. That's not fair.
It's true. No, I think pretty much everyone saw Christian Bale and were like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe Christian Bale.
Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely good.
Maybe he was the only Batman that got cast, and they were like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. You mean the American Psycho guy? Oh, that makes sense. Because, I mean, dude, his casting just made sense to everybody.
Yeah.
It was Heath Ledger that everybody was losing their shit.
Yeah, they were all. And dude,
they're like, he's so pretty, and
Man,
and then he just murders it.
Yeah, literally.
Just murdered him.
Was incredible.
So, like, one of the most iconic performances.
For sure.
Hands
down.
He found like the new interpretation. It was just so cool. My guy is looking completely like bonkers crazy. Look at those eyes.
Look at those eyeballs. Just blue eyeballs.
There we go.
It sounds like there's some carnival music.
That's right. It's an evil carnival.
Okay.
It's called Tortured Souls.
I've listened to that band before.
My favorite, all my favorite music is DMCA free lo-fi Halloween. That's that's all we can listen to. See? Murder.
Yeah.
Murder. Dude, Nightmare Alley's on HBO. Have you watched it yet?
I almost watched it today, but I didn't have enough time in between.
You got to enjoy it.
Dinner, this stream, and work, and I was like, well, I really want to be able to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna want to sit down and like.
I feel. I don't know if the word is guilty. It might be guilty, but with a lot of the stuff that, I feel like we watch, if we're watching it while we're working, it's like you're not really watching it. You're like hanging out with it.
Yeah, it's not a
you're hanging out with it.
Yeah,
so sometimes I'll get, I'll watch something while I'm working. I'm like, oh, I saw that, and they'll be like, oh, what'd you think about this and this part? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe
I didn't really watch it. There's the work watch and then there's the watch, and
the watch is where it's at.
And that's where you really get to experience it. But like, there's too much content for us, and so we have to do what we can, and just keep up with it. Jinx, hello and welcome. we stream every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, Creature Corner. Here on the Noman channel. So come hang out with us. We just make sick monsters and just talk about movies all the time. It's pretty sweet.
We talk about movies. We make fools out of ourselves.
Yes, we do.
And we like fun and scary things.
We like fun and scary things. And you're going to have a good time. But yeah, we love scary, sick, nasty things that scare us. That's what it's about. What scares you? And right now, this guy scares me.
What scares me is giant spiders sucking my brains out.
Did you ever see Big Ass Spider?
Yeah, of course, dude.
Yeah, because it's amazing.
I mean, that's a asylum, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm not. It was like an asylum-like company.
And the star of that movie was a comedian. He's not a comedian, but he does comedy, like comedy TV.
Well,
like it's not Kevin James, but it's a guy kind of like him. Right?
Greg, is it? Because I got it here. Is it? This
Show me
dude?
his face.
Is it this dude? There's Greg Grunberg. If you haven't seen Big Ass Spider, it's one of the best like B-C movies ever. It is spectacular because it's just called Big Ass Spider, and there's just a big ass spider in it.
And it's honestly
it's a kaiju film.
They get it. They go to work and they understand.
They knew what they were making when they made this, and it's just awesome and it's special. It's exactly what you think it is, and it does not pretend to be else. It's got this lady in it. She was the bacon lady in Something About Mary.
That's right.
That's an old movie. There we go.
Okay. I might have to stick just like a really long dangling tongue in this dude's mouth.
Are you gonna put a tongue in there?
I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna go Dr. Tongue, Dawn of the Dead style on this guy.
Let me see Dr. Tongue.
I'm gonna drop a tongue in there. Just gonna drop a tongue. I don't know what this shape is, but that's kind of the beauty of it. You just kind of roll. You're like, whatever shape it gives me. I'm just
Well, that's kind of the best part. It's just like, is you can just be free and relaxed.
Mm-hmm. And man, I gotta say, I felt pretty stupid yesterday because
why is that?
I was watching Pavlovich do something on ZBrush, and he was dragging Z tools like this in the menu. You see?
Yeah.
I had no idea you could do that. So every time I made a folder, I was just like clicking down. I'm like, let's get this subtool in here. Blip, 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 blip. And I was like, oh man, I am so glad that that's a real feature and that I knew that the entire time. Absolutely. I am smart. I am a smart person.
I remember when they introduced that and I was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
like all the best things in ZBrush have just come slowly and over time. I mean, I'm old enough to remember Dynamesh when that first came around. Dynamesh was a big deal.
I'm old enough to remember 666.
The Sign of the Devil.
Do you remember that 2006 June 6th?
Wait, was that June 6th?
Yeah, June 6th, 2006. Everybody was freaking out. It's the day of the devil.
Oh God.
Do you remember that?
Every one of those just always ends up being like, and you always hear about like some guy that just like murders his whole family. He's like, I did it.
The thing that was sweet with me is that I was living in Bethany, Oklahoma, in my senior year of high school. It was June 6th, the 6th of 2006. And I was working at Blockbuster.
Okay.
And we closed at midnight, right? 11:59 rolls around right before it hit 666. And this guy comes in and we're like, hey, we're about to close. He's like, it's okay. I'm just going to rent a couple movies. And he shows up and I can't remember what he rents. It's like The Exorcist and just some horror films. And, the thing that you remember about Blockbuster is that, your entire account is on a really old, network system there. And so this dude checks out at midnight on 666, and his name is Damien Evil.
No way.
Swear to God. It said Evil/Damien. It wasn't spelled differently at all. I was just like, holy crap, dude, this is awesome.
You think it was the real Damien Evil?
I think it might have been him, dude.
Do you think you had an experience with the son of the devil?
I think it might have been the child of the morning
You said
star.
He rented The Exorcist?
He rented The Exorcist. I specifically remember it was one of the Exorcist movies. It might have been the third one or something. But he rented 3 films. I couldn't remember what it was because I was tripping out. I was like, dude,
no,
it's 666. This dude's name is Damien Evil. I'm 17 years old and I work at a Blockbuster.
Damn.
It was really fun.
I think you were touched that day.
It was a special day.
See, what I'm doing is adding a little pink here. Oh, I like that the tongue is behind all that goo.
Yeah, right? It's just kind of hanging. It's hanging down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not prominent.
No, I like that. What I'm doing here, it's all about good color contrast. Is I'm adding a little pink next to these dark brown spots, and it gives you the feeling of a chimp, that's had their skin kind of rubs away and it gets pinkish under there. Same with bears and other animals, kind of gets eaten away a little bit. Now I have these, hairless chimps here too. And there's a lot of that, break it, lighter color breaking into a darker color.
Oh yeah,
that's that's what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Same with here in the bear, you can really see it on this dude.
Oh yeah,
this dude, he's got that pink swatch across his. Look at that face, man. This guy's got so much history.
Man, that's
that pink swatch in there.
That's one thing
so cool.
That you just study and study and study whenever you're in production like that, painting creatures, man. Is just how does it work? What does it do?
Why look cool?
Why does it do that? Cool? Yeah.
But you put lights against darks. Same kind of in painting, lights against darks. Little creep of color in there. Hey man, thanks, Red. We are creature designers in the industry. Matt's the man.
I am a normal person.
He designed Ralph and Rampage, the kick-ass wolf.
I did.
That's Matt. That's Matt. He did that. And then Nizuki in Godzilla vs. Kong. That's Matt. That's my man, Matt.
That's the man.
That's my man.
Jared, unfortunately, hasn't had a lot of success.
Haven't had a lot of success.
Really, he's.
I'm hoping one day I'm gonna get my big break. How surreal is that shit, man? It's just so weird. I didn't think oh yeah, man, you're gonna get to do this. It's just I feel like a lot of it's just dumb luck. Luck is a big part of it.
Yeah,
I feel like,
it's really just like meeting the right people,
yeah,
dude,
being at the right place at the right time.
and also being a very hard and diligent worker. Like
That helps.
that
Yeah.
is something that really needs to be emphasized. Like even if you know the right people, like if you're
Dude, you
not
got to work
like,
your butt off.
yeah,
You have to work your butt off. And then also, like, I don't know, our industry is very specialized, and it's small. It's a very
and it's
small
yeah,
industry.
it's like a handful of
Yeah.
people really are kind of, you know,
It's like I
doing a lot of the
remember,
work.
dude, I remember meeting like Neville Page for the first time, and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
you know? And now, like, we're, I wouldn't say we're close, but it's like, oh man, I know Neville Page now. You know,
yeah. He hit me up on Instagram whenever we were posting our Godzilla stuff, and I was like,
yeah,
oh my god.
yeah.
I was like,
whoa.
Yellow Page is talking to me, dude.
That
Crazy.
I had Wayne Barlow
Oh,
follow me
sick.
on Instagram, and I think I died that day.
Yeah, you might have
Like
passed away that
that's
day.
why I got like such huge posting anxiety too. Is
Oh
knowing
yeah.
an artist of that caliber was following me, and I got really anxious about it. I was like,
Oh yeah.
no, if if I can't just post things now.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, they don't tell you that, but that stuff is kind of scary because you're like, oh my God, eyeballs. You know, you want eyeballs. You know, you want attention, and then you get attention, and you're like, oh God, what did I do? Why did I do this?
Why am I here?
Why am I like this? Is a great question. Why am I like this way? But we're just gonna make some cool monsters. Okay, I'm gonna get him into Keyshot now.
Yeah, I'm dropping my dude in there too. Just want to see what he's looking like. Haven't touched the hands or the legs really, but
Let's see your boy. Oh yeah.
let's do. Yeah, that's nice. There we go. And where is? Oh, there we go.
Arm webs. Leg webs. There's some old junk in here too. We can get rid of. Got to go through and like name everything. Okay, love face. Get out of here.
Oh, we got the love face guy.
I know. I know.
He's back.
Like it's like Galaga. You gotta like just like pew, 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 pew. Blast them down. Horrible little things.
Horrible little buggers.
Horrible little buggers. Man's desire for milk.
Man's desire for milk has taunted him for the last 17 years. But now,
one man, one milk.
one desire.
One man's desire for milk is going to change the course of human history.
Yeah, I think I'm liking the forms anyways. It'll be
pretty good.
Awesome.
I like it.
It'll be awesome when I like
the sickly yellow.
Yeah, that kind
You
of
know,
just
that always makes me
numbing
feel,
skin.
yeah.
And obviously I'll get some eyeballs, mess around with the teeth and all that stuff. Got to do the rest of his body, but I'm digging it so far. I feel like he could be a really big guy.
You can be a big guy.
Oh
You can be a big
yeah,
guy.
you wouldn't want that
You
dude
wouldn't want
rolling
to
up on you.
be. You wouldn't want to be his best friend. You're not a nice person. All right. I've got first layer of poly paint.
Thank you, Chatty on fire. Thank you, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, there's not enough creatures on, not enough creature sculptors out there. Like, but I love to share this stuff. I love creatures, man. It's just the coolest.
It's the best part of life.
Best, like the man can just make horrible, awful things. It's beautiful. Imagination.
Imagination. There we go. That's what we like to see. Yeah, that's going to be tight. I think that's going to be tight. Once we lock that in, I think that'll be pretty Narble Bardensons.
Nardle Bardensons.
Barden.
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 Your Bardens.
Barden.
You got the Bardens.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a big club. He's got a really big just club. You know what I mean?
I gotta get this guy into, let's call this back quills. I'm gonna get him into Keyshot. This is the tongue. My naming conventions are so lazy now. Like tongue is spelled T-U-N-G.
Oh, dude, I misspell every single word. Every word.
Every word is misspelled.
If it has an S in it, there is an A whenever I type it. And that's just how I work.
What is that? Is that, oh, remember when I put a little nose on him?
I forgot about the little
I forgot to put a little nose on him.
That was a fun nose, Jared.
That was a pretty cool nose. I might just keep it just for the option.
Sometimes you gotta, it's a bonus option.
It's like a bonus. Nose. It's a bonus nose.
Yeah, I think I'm.
I don't like the nose. I don't know. I'm gonna keep it there. There you go.
Thank you, the Benjamin.
Yeah, we love monsters.
You guys are too kind. You come hang out with us, listen to us babble. But also, if you've seen any cool, weird movies, you've got to tell us because we want to know.
And I feel like we should do a fan art day soon.
Oh, I'm so
I've been
down.
feeling like if we just did a head and shoulders of a fan art.
Yeah, I remember bringing that up a while back, like some sort of theme or something. I want to do like.
I mean, I've wanted to spend some time, just in Creaturelandia, show everybody the process, and then we can break out and do some like really fun, crazy stuff. But I'm
into it.
Check out if you're interested in hanging out with us, contacting us. My Twitter is at monstermash042, so come say hi. And then Matt on Tweety is at Itchy Tasty.
Itchy Tasty
_.
And there is a little bit of an underscore.
There's a little underscore under there, so just keep that in mind.
It's something to think. Speaking of Itchy Tasty.
And then you got your boy up.
There's my dude.
There's your dude. Let's pop him up. Yay! I'm glad you were working on this.
It's a very simple thing, but I've just been having so much fun with it, man. Because the original artwork. Let me see here. Oh crap! I don't have it up anymore. Let me show you. It was. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. Open image, a new tab. There we go. This guy.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That was it's the first thing you see.
Yeah, and it's like it's cover art version of the first zombie, right? And it's very, I don't know. I mean, it's awesome. It was burned in my mind as a child, but working on that version of it has just been kind of fun. It's been a fun exercise, and plus I got to bust out some of my custom like wound brushes,
like
and stuff
new, like you just get to play with some toys.
Yeah, and I still need to finish it, but it's been a really fun thing. It's simple. I started with your base head thing, just that kind of that block in kind of sphere, and he's got that pointy nose, with like the filament's been eaten away around his nostril, and like the lip line's a little forward with. It's just fun. I don't know. It's been a fun thing to
great,
do.
dude. And you saw the movie too.
I have seen the movie 2 times.
You saw it 2 times?
I think I saw it. I think I watched it 3 times.
There we go.
Because you got to make sure.
There we go. So I've got my boy in Keyshot now.
Oh, nice. I like it.
And I'll throw some outer eye goodness on there.
Yeah, what are you doing with that? Just a glass basic, or?
I mean, actually, in the materials, if you go to glass, there's one called Droplet. Droplet. That's the one I've been using.
Is that not? Does it not have a displacement map on it?
I think it does. So I take it off. Let me check. Yeah, it does. So I delete that.
Okay.
And then deal with it there. But what I wanted to know, like, because what I've been doing lately is I've been just taking like the ambience of my, like sometimes I'll put a translucent shader on the eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's, eyes are translucent.
Right.
Right. So I'll put that up, but sometimes it doesn't shine through the glass.
Yeah.
So I've just been taking it as a normal material, like a basic advanced material, and then upping the ambience.
Or even making it, like emissive or ambient.
Yeah. Is that what you do?
Well, so that happens a lot in production. This is all shader work.
That's what I thought.
Issues, right? So basically what's happening is your light source is not strong enough for Keyshot's like material rendering.
Got it.
To do that ray tracing. Especially if you're on GPU versus CPU, your ray tracing and your displacements are going to be 100% different. And so a lot of times in production, see like that looks
that works.
Natural. That looks natural, right?
Because eyes are so weird because they are bright. They're they are bright underneath. And what's interesting is I was listening to a Del Toro podcast, and he was saying he lived next to a morgue or something like that.
Yeah.
And he would say the wetness of the eye goes away, the brightness inside the eye.
Of course.
Yeah. It's so weird.
The eyes are, the number one thing called out in every creature and likeness since the dawn of history. And in CG, it's very hard, especially in production. With a program like this, you can comp out a couple of renders, and that's ultimately that will happen a lot in production. It'll be like, okay, you've got your beauty render, then we're doing an eye pass, then we're doing a meniscus pass, then we're doing just a refractive pass, and then the compers are bringing everything in there to try and get it to look right. So, ultimately, if you have like no environment reflection, you're not going to get a lot of information through your refractive surfaces in Keyshot. Yeah. If you have like a single light source, it's just not going to do it. But if you have, right, because glass has to reflect to refract in the software, right? So it's just kind of how it works.
Absolutely. So then what I've been doing it the right way then is you just
Oh
push
yeah,
the ambience up. That makes sense.
dude. You just bump it up,
Look at that. It's starting to look nasty.
dude. Yeah, it looks great, man. That's
See,
nice.
this is my
That's
favorite
scary.
part is when you turn the eye, you turn the light off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope, man. All right. Well, it is time, my brother.
It is time. Yeah. See, this light works. It's like a little backlight here.
Yeah, that's dope.
The downside is the eyes though, so that's something like I'll have to look at per shot.
Yeah, so basically what you would do is like just, I mean, if you want it in your beauty render, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Probably not gonna happen.
The way that it happens with materials, right? Because you would just get rid of the glass or whatever, and you'd have your eye on a translucent material, and you just render out a reflective pass on top.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But it's again, it's Keyshot, man. I mean, it's awesome.
I know you got to deal with you got to deal with
what it is, right?
But it's
dude,
now,
your computer is so fast.
My computer? Oh hell
yeah! I'm just watching you roll around and shit. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I love it.
Well, Jared, it's time for me to roll out, brother.
Okay, you roll out, buddy.
Good hanging with you guys.
Hey, thank you guys. Yeah, man, that just flew by, didn't it? We got a lot done.
Sure did. We really did. We did great, man.
We did good. So exciting announcement is next week. Stay tuned because we're going to have our first Creature Corner interview. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Matt? Was he excited? Matt was excited for a second.
I'm excited.
I think he's excited. Anyway, we're
excited. I can't wait.
No, stay tuned next week with our guest. It's going to be Jared Morantz.
Oh, it's
legendary creature designer. The guy did the Batman suit, for God's sake.
Yeah. So just get ready to get your mind
get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that, and then come hang out with us again here on Creature Corner. All right.
See you guys next week.
Good night, everybody. Peace.